Hello everybody. Fighting types love to fight each other, so let's put that to the test. We're gonna see if we can beat Pokemon White 2 with no evolutions, fighting types only, and hardcore Nuzlocke rules. This isn't a real run. I just want to see if it's possible. I'm going to try to put together the best strategies and the best methods to give myself the best chance to get through this game, and then we'll see if the run like this is possible in the end. I'll have access to Riolu, Timber, Scraggy, and Mienfoo. Not many encounters, but all of these Pokemon have diverse movesets, really good abilities, and solid stats. So, it doesn't matter that there's only 4 of them because they're all really good encounters. I'll also be playing on challenge mode because I'm not a loser. Okay, let's get right into it, guys. Riolu will be available at Flockacy Ranch just before the first gym, and you're going to have to roll with Riolu for the first 2 gyms. The beginning game for a lot of these runs I do will always be the same. Just don't get unlucky and don't get crit. Charon's lead Patrat here actually killed me a few times because I just spammed quick attack. I thought that was the best way, but I found that using counter is definitely more effective. Riolu is edged to the level cap and it's going to get Force Palm at level 15. So once the Patrat's gone, the rest of the battle is super easy. You can just clean it up. After fighting all required trainers before Roxy, Riolu has more than enough XP available to max out one of its stats through EV training. I can already outspeed all of Roxy's Pokemon already, so I gave Riolu max attack EVs and gave him a Silk Scarf to hold on to. I also calculated that I would need to set up 2 workups to kill both Grimer and Coughing and 3 workups for Whirlipede, along with being edged to level 20. Here's the issue though. Riolu can't survive 3 non-crit Venoshocks from Coughing, so I don't actually have 3 turns to get to +3 against the Coughing. So here's what I'll do. I'll finish off the Coughing with return after 2 workups, because that's all I need for the Coughing. Then, Roxy's Grimer actually has a minus special attack nature. It also has a lower base special attack than Coughing. So with those 2 together, it means I can set up my last workup against Grimer while I just barely tank its weaker Venoshock. Alright, from here, the battle is won. To maximize your chances in your run, you'd want a Riolu with either good base attack, so you'd only need 2 workups to sweep the battle, or you can get a Riolu that has good HP and special defense to be more likely to survive the hits from Coughing and Grimer. Overall, I wouldn't say Roxy isn't too big of a roadblock. Before I take on Berg, I have access to 2 more encounters. I'm going to get a Timber with Guts and a Scraggy with Moxie. And Berg is going to be really simple if you EV train your Scraggy. It has max defense and max HP now, and it's holding a Violite to boost its defense even more. Dweble's Rock Blast, Struggle Bug, and Feint Attack don't do anything to Scraggy, and since I wall it completely, I can set up the +6 attack with Workup right in front of it. I can always use Rest to stay healthy, and even the super effective Aerial Aces from Carablast and Leavanny do pathetic damage to Scraggy. Aliza does have a chance to ruin your run, but it's super unlikely. We'll start with Scraggy again. It's got the same investment as it does for Berg, and that's going to allow it to tank Emolga's Aerial Ace super easily. I'm just going to use Smackdown on Emolga. Smackdown will make ground type moves hit Emolga now, and this next turn has the most risk in it. I'm going to use Riolu as an eject button pivot to get into Timber. But even with max defense and max HP, Riolu won't live a crit Aerial Ace from Emolga. For this battle, though, that you're seeing, I actually get extremely lucky in this turn because Emolga almost never wants to use Volt Switch, but it did here, and it's nice because Railu can actually live a crit from Volt Switch if it happens. Now I can eject button into Timber. Timber is max speed and max attack right now and has a Choice Scarf, which allows it to outspeed the Emolga. It's also pre-burned to give it the Guts boost. Since Emolga is smacked onto the ground, I'm allowed to hit it with Dig, and I'm not going to get paralyzed by static since I'm already burned. I can hit the Flaffy that comes after with a Dig too. Joltik is here now, and Guts boosted Dig won't actually kill it. I'm going to go directly into Scraggy again. The battle is won at this point, but to stay safe, you're going to want to take things slow. Joltik will always use Volt Switch versus Scraggy, and it's going to Volt Switch right into Zebstrika. Zebstrika likes to choose any of its moves randomly versus Scraggy. If it uses Quick Attack, Pursuit, or Stomp, Scraggy will eat it for breakfast, and that will give me the next turn to set up a workup. Zebstrika will sometimes use Volt Switch, and that's going to send it back into Joltik, and the Joltik is always going to Volt Switch right back into Zebstrika. This will happen for a while, and I'll just stay cautious, resting up on Scraggy whenever I'm in crit range, and slowly getting my workup boosts up. And after some time, Scraggy is going to get all the way to +6 attack. And once I do, I have enough attack boost to finish the battle with Brick Break on Zebstrika and a Smackdown on the Joltik. Clay can get 1v1'd by Scraggy. This Scraggy is the same investment as before, and it now has Ice Punch. This Croc at the beginning is always going to use Torment and Sandstorm in the first 2 turns. Not necessarily in that order, but the first 2 turns always have a Torment and a Sandstorm from the Croc. I'm going to use this time to reset the attack drop from Croc's Intimidate with a workup, and that's going to allow me to take it out with a Brick Break the next turn. My Moxie boosts are actually going to help a lot this battle. This entire battle can be winged too, alternating between Ice Punch and Brick Break because of the Torment that the Croc is going to leave on you for the rest of the battle. I also have Rest for scary situations, but in this particular battle, I didn't have to, and you usually don't. If you do have to rest, I'd recommend resting up on Onyx if you need to. It's not threatening at all, and even an explosion does nothing to Scraggy. I say this because if you wait to rest up on Sandslash, it's gonna start setting up Hone Claws in the turns that you sleep, and that can get really scary and dangerous pretty fast. One other thing about Scraggy and Sandslash is that you need to make sure you have Ice Punch disabled by Torment when Sandslash dies. This is so that Brick Break is the move that can be used versus the Excadrill after. This is easily done though, and when Excadrill comes out, Scraggy is so tanky that even at this point in the battle, what you see here, it still has enough health to live a crit from Excadrill, and it's gonna die to the Brick Break. Surprisingly, even with fighting types being weak to the birds here, Skyla is the simplest battle that you're gonna have. One thing though, you're gonna have to have a Timber with Guts, and it needs at least a 109 attack stat for the Sigilyph to guarantee the kill with Thunder Punch. Other than that, Guts boosted Thunder Punches are gonna be able to sweep through Skyla's entire team. And with max speed investment and a Choice Scarf, Timber outspeeds everything here. Alright, Timber. Okay, I lied a little bit. This Skarmory does need to be dealt with Scraggy instead of Timber. Scraggy still has his Violite and max defensive investment, so even Skarmory's Aerial Ace does nothing to Scraggy. I can just spam Thunder Punch, and that's it for this battle. Mienfu's gonna be available. That's our last encounter now. And we're gonna fight Drayden. But before I fight him, I'm gonna show you something you probably never knew. This Druddigon's ability, Sheer Force, and Sheer Force shaves off extra effects on Druddigon's attacks for a 30% damage boost. But if I have a Pokemon holding an eject button, it gets rid of the eject button effect. Kind of interesting. Oh, nobody cares? Okay, fine. Alright, let's fight Druddigon for real. I'm gonna start with Mienfu and hit it with a Fake Out first turn. Next turn, Druddigon will always move first because I gave Mienfu an Iron Ball, which will half its speed. Druddigon can choose to use Rock Slide, Crunch, or Revenge on this turn. It won't go for Dragon Tail because I haven't set up Stat Boost. It only does that if you've set up Stat Boost, okay? Since I need an eject button pivot out of here, and Revenge doesn't actually have a secondary effect, there's two situations that can arise from this turn. And don't worry guys, I've accounted for both of them. The first option here is Druddigon using Rock Slide or Crunch, because those two are affected by Sheer Force. Mienfu has defense EVs to always live a crit from either. Mienfu will then use U-turn and I'll go into Scraggy. But what if Druddigon uses Revenge? Well, Revenge has a lower priority. That means it's gonna move last after Mienfu no matter what my speed is. That just means if I see my Mienfu attack first with U-turn, I'll know to go into Riolu instead of Scraggy because Scraggy is dead to a Revenge crit. Revenge will hit Riolu, who can always love the crit, and activate my eject button. And just a reiteration, the eject button activated because Revenge has no Sheer Force secondary effects. Regardless of both situations, I'll always end up here with Scraggy, and the Fake Out plus U-turn damage from my Mienfu earlier will put Druddigon perfectly in range of Scraggy's Ice Punch. Scraggy's going to be able to pick up Moxie Boosts along the way, and the Moxie Boosts are going to allow Scraggy to guarantee the kill on Drayden's entire team. I also have this Choice Scarf here, so little Lignon can outspeed all of Drayden's Pokemon. Alright. I'll be starting with Mienfu again for Marlin, and it's gonna look pretty similar. I'm gonna hit it with a Fake Out first. Wailord likes to go for either Scald or Rain Dance here pretty equally. Regardless, I'm gonna set up a Sunny Day, and Wailord's gonna set up Rain. Next turn though, Wailord's gonna go into the turn thinking that the Rain is up, so it's always gonna go for Scald right after. But I can go first and set the Sun up. Now, a Scald crit will never kill Mienfu, and that's gonna activate my eject button and send me into Riolu. Now the Sun is up here, so Wailord next turn will be guaranteed to go and try and set up the Rain again. I can use that free turn to use Thunder Punch, and now Wailord is in range for Scraggy when he comes out next. Once again, before this turn starts, Wailord is thinking it can use a boosted Scald under the Rain, so it's always going to go for it. I'm just going to set up Sun right before with Riolu again and always live a crit Scald. I'll be eject buttoned into Scraggy now. I'll finish off the Wailord here with a Thunder Punch and I'll get a Moxie Boost. Rain cannot be up and the Sun needs to be up at this point, and there's two reasons why. Here's the first one. Mantine actually has the Swift Swim ability, and if the Rain was up, it would be able to outspeed my Scraggy and kill it. Instead, I can go first and kill it with a quad effective Thunder Punch and get another Moxie Boost. And Caracosta comes in, and it does have Sturdy, so I'm not going to be able to kill it in one hit. It prefers to go for Shell Smash here, like most of the time, but Scald is still a possibility. The potential Scald is the second reason I need the sun up. Now, Scraggy can take a crit Scald from Kara, since the damage is halved in the sun. Plus, Scraggy has a Rossberry for the potential burn from Scald. I'll Thunder Punch, and in this particular battle, I got Paralysis. That's a little lucky. However, if I didn't, Caracosta would be able to outspeed me next turn with +2 from the Shell Smash, and it's going to be able to hit Scraggy with a Scald. A crit +2 special attack Scald under the sun would have an 18.8% chance to kill my Scraggy. If your Scraggy has better special defense and HP IVs than mine, you're not going to have to worry about this scenario in your run. Okay! I'll finish Caracosta with a Thunder Punch and grab one more Moxie boost. This boost is going to allow me to outspeed and kill the Jellicent guaranteed with one Thunder Punch, and now that was the final badge. Guys, Colress is going to be so fun. Both of his Magneton and his Magnezone have Sturdy. I've got Fake Out on Mienfoo for that though, so things are going to be simple. First turn, I'm going to break the Magneton Sturdy with a Fake Out. Then, I'm going to follow up with a quad effective Dig to kill it. Magnezone is here now, and I'm going to go to Scraggy. Scraggy's just an eject button pivot, and any crit that the Magnezone throws out, even an explosion, is not going to kill Scraggy. I can bring Mienfoo right back in, hit it with a Fake Out, and then a Dig right after to kill the Magnezone. Now Beheeyem's here and it wants to kill Mienfoo with Psychic. I'm going to survive with my Focus Sash that I have and use that turn to set up a Swords Dance. This Swords Dance will actually allow me to ensure the kill on Beheeyem with a return. Matang comes out after, but that dies to a Dig too. Lastly is Klinklang with an Air Balloon, so I can't beat it with Mienfoo. Since Mienfoo is on 1 HP here, Klinklang will always go for an attacking move instead of setting up with Shift Gear. That means I can just go into Riolu, who will have any crit from Klinklang, and I'm just going to use it as an eject button pivot to get into Timber. And Timber's Choice Scarf will allow me to go first, and I can murder the Klinklang with a superpower. The Kyurem before Ghetsis can just be taken care of with a Choice Scarf superpower from Timber. Your Pokemon are all healed after that though, so no pre-status Guts boost and no pre-damage full power reversals for this battle. Regardless though, this fight is still super easy and straightforward. First off, I'll switch from the Timber at the lead to Scraggy. The goal here is just going to be to PP stall the Cofagrigus out of all of its moves. Max HP, max defense, a Violite Scraggy cannot be touched at all by Cofagrigus. Psychic doesn't affect me, Shadow Ball is not very effective and does nothing to Scraggy, and I can always cure Toxic with Scraggy's Rest and be able to heal up with Rest too. On top of that, I'll get Scraggy's Evasion to maximum with Double Teams. With all of this, all I have to do is spam Scraggy's moves and wait until it runs out. When Cofagrigus starts to struggle, I'll switch directly into Mienfoo, who has max speed now instead of defense. I also have leftovers on Mienfoo just to stay as healthy as possible as I can in case Cofagrigus gets a few struggle crits. Anyway, I'm just gonna Swords Dance to max attack, and that's actually it for Ghetsis. Mienfoo can use either Dig or Drain Punch to kill, and can outspeed the rest of Ghetsis' team. Alright guys, it's Elite Four time, and the order that you fight these guys actually matters if you want to use the strategies that I'm putting here. Scraggy's Drain Punch and Foul Play can only either be tutored or remembered onto him. Same thing with Mienfoo. His Fake Out and his Reversal can only be tutored or remembered onto them. And I'm going to replace these moves at some point later down the line while I'm fighting the Elite Four. So, you gotta fight the Elite Four members that require these moves first, alright? You got it? Let's go. Grimsley comes first because Reversal, Fake Out, and Drain Punch are all required for this strategy for this fight. Since there's no tutors or rememberers in the Elite Four, you can only use what you have in your TMs to alter your Pokemon's movesets during the Elite Four run. Okay, let's just get into it. I'll use Fake Out right at the start on this Liepard. Only reason is because it also has Fake Out too, and obviously I can't get hit by Fake Out at 2 HP. I'm going to follow up next turn with a full powered Reversal. Now, I can kill the Absol that comes out next with a Reversal too. Bisharp is here, and yeah, I could kill it with Reversal, but it has a Quick Claw, which is going to give it a 20% chance to get +1 priority, and that could kill Mienfoo. Don't worry, I'm just going to switch into Max HP, Max Defense Riolu. Then, that'll send me into Scraggy with the Eject button. Now, Scraggy can clean up the rest of the battle actually. With its bulk investment in a Violet, it can tank all the physical attacks that the rest of this battle is going to have. On top of that, Scraggy is going to be healing a ton every turn thanks to spamming Drain Punch. Bisharp, Scrafty, and Krookodile all die. Let's move on. Marshall's going to be second, and his throw likes to prioritize lowering your speed if you're faster than it, which my Mienfoo is. This means that it's just going to go for Rock Tomb or Bulldoze guaranteed this first turn. That means also that I can use this turn to set up one Swords Dance, and I'll have a held white herb that will restore my speed stat to base and activate my acrobatics to do double damage. Now, Throw will die to acrobatics, Lucario dies to Brick Break, Mienshao dies to acrobatics, Conkeldurr dies to acrobatics, and lastly, Sock comes in, but it has Sturdy that needs to be broken. No problem, I'll just go into Riolu with the Eject button, go back into Mienfoo, then I can Fake Out to break the Sturdy, and then follow up with an Acrobatics. Sock will die. Chantal is going to be third because Scraggy needs Foul Play for this fight, and I also am going to need to delete Foul Play for the Caitlyn fight. And also Chantal is going to be a bit rough, so I hope you guys are ready. Cofagrigus here is gonna get PP stalled until it only has Will-O-Wisp left. I'm gonna do it in 3 different phases. First phase, I'm gonna run Cofagrigus out of all 15 of its Shadow Balls. This is simple but also slightly dangerous. Shadow Ball has a 20% chance to lower your special defense by 1 stage. A Violet Scraggy still has good natural special defense and tanks these very well at the beginning, but dang, this can get really scary if Cofagrigus gets a bunch of Spidef drops. And I also cannot use a Spidef Scraggy to make this fight easier because I absolutely need a defensive one for the end of this fight. You guys will see. For now, I'm going to spam Protect as much as I can and rest on Scraggy when I take too much damage. Keeping Scraggy asleep as much as I can also helps to preserve the amount of Will-O-Wisps it has, because Cofagrigus isn't going to try to burn Scraggy if it's already asleep. If I do happen to get a lot of special defense drops, I don't have much of a choice. I'm going to have to go into Mienfoo, who needs to dodge a crit from Shadow Ball if things really come to that. In this fight, they didn't, but that was my backup plan. Other than that, it's not the worst to run this thing out of Shadow Balls. And once it's out... Alright, time for phase 2. I'm gonna make sure that Scraggy is asleep first. I still don't want Cofagrigus to be going for Willow. If Scraggy is asleep and Cofagrigus is out of Shadow Balls and has Grass Knot and Psychic left, and Psychic does not affect Scraggy at all, Cofagrigus is guaranteed to go for Grass Knot here. This means I can switch into Mienfoo. Mienfoo will take the damage from Grass Knot, and since Cofagrigus is going to see a kill with Psychic now, it's going to go for it, and I can go right back into Scraggy. Now Scraggy is immune. I can bait another Grass Knot and go back into Mienfoo. And I'm finally taking advantage of the Regenerator ability that Mienfoo has. This is going to restore 33% of its health every single time it switches back out. This means I can just keep on taking and soaking up damage from Grass Knot with Mienfoo. That's going to allow me to repeat this whole thing 10 times until Cofagrigus doesn't have any more Psychics left. Now, Cofagrigus will only have Grass Knots, 10 of them, and Will-O-Wisps. This is Phase 3 time. All I have to do, though, for this one is to go back into Scraggy and spam Rest. Since Scraggy is faster than Cofagrigus, I can always rest first after waking up, and keeping myself asleep this whole time will force Cofagrigus to never use Will-O-Wisps. It's only going to do Grass Knot. Keeping Scraggy asleep is going to waste all 10 Grass Knots. And now, at this point, Cofagrigus only has Will-O-Wisp. It is finally time to go into Mienfoo and start setting up. I don't even mind getting burned here either, because I'm going to rest off the status and any damage anyway at the end. The only reason I'm leaving a bunch of Willows left is because making Cofagrigus struggle is going to do a little too much damage to Mienfoo. Any strung together crits from Cofagrigus could put this fight in danger, so it's a lot safer to just leave it with Will-O-Wisp. Once Mienfoo has +6 attack and I have my burn healed off from the rest, I'll hit Cofagrigus with the Acrobatics. Drifblim and Bayonet will both fall right after to Acrobatics. Now Chandelure is here. This Chandelure is carrying a Choice Scarf, so it outspeeds my Mienfoo. Since all of its moves also kill Mienfoo, it could go for any of them. I'm actually going to protect with Mienfoo to see what it'll lock itself into. So there's a few different things that can happen here. Best case is Chandelure using Psychic Energy Ball or Shadow Ball, because I'm eventually going to go into Scraggy, and Scraggy resists those moves the easiest. If Chandelure wanted to go for Fire Blast here, I could just use my 2 Pokemon here that are Focus Sashed, and going into them, letting them tank a Fire Blast, and then protecting the next turn is going to waste 1 or 2 out of the 5 PP that Fire Blast has. So that's how I'd PP stall it if it went for that. But it doesn't here. Scraggy's just going to be in, and I'm going to go for a Torment here. And Torment is going to prevent Chandelure from using the same move twice in a row. And now, since it's choice locked, that means that every other turn, it's going to struggle because it can't use any other move because it's locked in. All Scraggy has to do is protect on the turns that Chandelure actually goes for a move that's not struggle. I also don't want to touch Chandelure yet with Foul Play because the Flame Body ability could burn Scraggy and I can't have that happen. Alright, so after Chantel uses her full restore on Chandelure and Chandelure gets down to 50% health and is about to use Struggle, that's when I rest on Scraggy. Because next turn Chandelure will Shadow Ball, then it will Struggle and kill itself. Now, Scraggy has as much health as it possibly can to tank the potential low roll crit Brick Break from the Golurk that comes out after. Now, Scraggy can tank the 1 Brick Break, and since Foul Play gets same type attack bonus from Scraggy, and it uses Golurk's attack stat for calculations, Foul Play is always a 1-hit KO on Golurk and the battle is over. Caitlin's gonna be pretty simple, and I'm only starting with Timber here because I needed a full health Timber non-status before for the other fights, but now I need it burned for the champion fight. So I'm only going to get it burned on this first turn here with a Protect and a Flame Ward. After, I'm just going to go right into Scraggy. And Scraggy has max special defense now instead of defense, and it's still holding that Eviolite for extra bulk. I'm going to taunt Musharna to force it to only use Charge Beam. Although Dream Eater is an attacking move too, it requires me to be asleep, so Musharna won't use it. Scraggy's Dark type makes it immune anyway. I only want to stall Musharna out of all of its Charge Beams here. Using Protect, Double Team, and Rest, this can be easily done, and I don't even mind if Musharna gets boosts from Charge Beam, because by the time it gets really dangerous, Musharna will be all out of beams. Once that happens, I'm going to leave Musharna with a nice fresh taunt, and then go into Mienfoo. Mienfoo has the faster taunt also, just like Scraggy, and since Musharna has no more Charge Beams, its only attacking move is Dream Eater. However, once again, it doesn't affect me if I'm not asleep, so I can keep Musharna using Dream Eater forever with taunt. Now, I can keep Musharna taunted the whole time, then on the off turns, I can set up the +6 with Swords Dance against it. Now the battle is over, because Mienfoo can outspeed and guarantee the kill with Return on Reuniclus, Sigilyph, and Gothitelle. Metagross will get hit with a nice dig, and now it's on to the champion. Okay, last battle, guys. Mienfoo is going to Swords Dance up right on turn 1, while Hydreigon is going to hit it with a Dragon Pulse, and that's going to take me down to my Focus Sash. I can kill it with a Brick Break next turn. Now Druddigon is in, and I don't guarantee the kill here, but I don't really care. I just want to get it low while it kills my Mienfoo. Now Riolu can come in, and since Iris is going to Potion this turn, I can use this free turn to Swords Dance up. Then, when Druddigon attacks me next turn, I can Swords Dance again while it brings Riolu down to its Sash. Now Riolu's reversal is at full power, and I can take out Druddigon. Aggron and Lapras come out after, and they also die to reversal. Now Haxorus is here, and I don't outspeed it, and it also has a Focus Sash. I'm going to use Quick Attack on Riolu to break the Focus Sash. Now, I can let Riolu go, and I can go into Timber, who's burned thanks to the previous battle. Timber's Choice Scarfed, it can outspeed and kill Haxorus with a Guts boosted Ice Punch. Archeops comes in, and I can outspeed it and kill it with a Guts boosted Ice Punch. And there we go, guys. Well, so is the Fight Lock possible? It's definitely a tough one, but these are some good Pokemon here. It's probably not going to be that difficult. And in the end, it's all going to come down to what your standards are with using rare candies and EV reducing items and putting items into the game that are available at the time. Like, it's going to depend on whether you think that's ethical for your run or not. If you don't, this is going to take you forever. You need a lot of EV items if you're going to do it the way I did it. Like in the Elite Four. All the EV training that you have to do has to be done with wings. And you gotta grind for those. But is this ever really, supposed to be practical? I don't know. You guys decide. And if you hated my video, leave a mean comment about it. Alright guys, just leave a comment and a subscribe and don't forget to drop the like button and ring the bell for notifications. See you next time.